It's a family. Come, let's strengthen the ties that bind us as a people. Let me stretch forward to give Nigel a tag. Nigel, give me a knocks, the man. How are you, Nigel?
Hey, how are you, my dear? How are you, my dear? How are we doing?
I'm fine. I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Vacation
It's
winding
nice.
up. Back to work on Tuesday. Back in the studio today.
Okay.
Yeah.
The vacation is over. I hope you had a good vacation. I hope you
Yeah.
got some rest.
Man, I got too much
And I hope you
rest.
got to do some writing in between.
Yeah. Nah, but I got a lot of rest. You mean writing? Oh
Yes.
yes. I did that.
You did that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I did a
beautiful.
lot of this. Yeah.
Well, that's always a good thing. So you had some creative process whilst you were resting
The creative
and
juices.
reflecting and getting ready to return.
Yeah, man. Nigel, get ready to.
Nice
Nigel,
vibes.
so how are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. Another week, another reflective week this week, of course.
I can imagine.
Had some reflections and prayer yesterday. Good Friday, and then of course, continuing the process today and getting ready for the beautiful resurrection and Sunday.
Yes.
So and the celebration of that. So cool week, man. Can't complain. Mixture of work, reflection. Can't have anything better than that, right?
That's good. Nigel, let me tell you. Let me tell you about that song that's on my mind. Since Thursday, Nigel, sometimes a song, a song is on your mind.
It just stick in your mind.
I just stay there.
Yeah, I know.
And imagine, Nigel, this song has nothing to do with Easter celebration, the resurrection, or anything like that. In fact, it has everything to do with like a perfect society.
Okay.
Kind of far-fetched, Nigel, but really, this song from, I think it's from Trinidad, Merchants, the Calypsonian.
Mm-hmm.
That song,
which one?
I think Ya Yo, something like that. That song is just right. It's just not leaving my thoughts, Nigel.
No, that one.
It is that song. You know it?
Yes, I know that song.
Let's sing it. Let's start.
You started?
I think so. Like I dream I was in Africa, and I was
in Africa.
Mm-hmm. And I was a warrior.
Something with my father.
Hunting lion and tiger.
Yes.
Brave like my forefather, something like that.
Hunting lion and tiger.
And when the darkness gather, we sit around the fire.
Yes.
Telling all the bravery and courage of our ancestors, something like that. Yeah. So that song is on my mind, Nigel. How I try to.
Yes. That song is in your mind.
Yeah. All how I try to sing another song is that song that's staying there.
That's all that's sticking in your mind.
I try to sing On the Hill Far Away Stood an Old Rugged Cross, and that's the time. But that song from Merchant just not leaving my mind, Nigel. And the song has nothing to do with the cross.
There must be a reason for that.
I don't know. Well, I always love Merchant. I like calypsos like this, nation building,
yes.
South
there has
building.
to be a reason for that.
Yeah,
man.
And
strangely enough, as you mentioned, and I'm thinking about it now. For the last couple of mornings, I've been hearing this song from Sugar Aloes in my head.
You see?
I don't say yes. Love nobody. Mm-hmm. Everybody keep cutting each other's throat. Yeah.
And there's a reason why this
song we're living.
So Nigel, you're not bad.
The episode is Murder She Wrote.
You're not bad, man.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So that song from Merchant, it says there's a part that says, I think, beauty and freedom surround me. Food and wealth in a quantity.
Yes.
If I could go back to Africa, then I could be a great hunter, something like that, running, swimming, climbing, around the fire dancing, women washing and singing. So you can hear I'm Nigel, I'm just, I'm ashamed of myself.
You can hear, and something about this particular song is that it takes you to a place where you can just imagine how beautiful it is.
You see, that's it, Nigel.
And how peaceful and, all the niceness, the togetherness and just the mere fact he starts this way, dreaming of a time in Africa and everything,
yes, Nigel.
Takes you to a peaceful space.
That's it. It could be because I always imagine just what you said, I was always dream and imagine, a place where like everything is perfect, Nigel.
Yes,
a utopia
yes. I can see why you're imagining that,
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
Nigel, let's leave that alone, Tan.
I know, but let me not, oh, by the way, but DGS did well this week too, the
Say that
Dominica
again?
Grammar School.
But of course, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'll
what do
mention
you
it.
expect?
Dominica Grammar School did
Yes, the
very
Dominica
well.
Grammar School did very well,
Congratulations to
yes,
them
in the inter-secondary
for,
schools debate
winning
competition.
the
Inter-secondary schools debate
inter-secondary
competition,
schools
yeah.
debating
Yeah,
competition.
yeah, yeah. I mean, come
Yes,
on, Nigel.
so DGS, you did well. You
Yeah,
defeated
I
the
mean,
Orion
just
Academy, I think,
recently,
right?
big news in athletics, and I mean, it just goes on and on. So,
Goes on and on and
yeah,
on. DGS is doing good things.
yeah,
So
man.
congratulations, DGS. It's
Yeah.
good to see you following in the footsteps of SMA.
You
Continuing the
had to say
process.
SME.
Beautiful.
You just had to say SME.
Yes.
But we set,
And of course, let us wish all our athletes representing us for the Carifta Games, right? I
Yeah.
think
Oh
that's on
yes,
this weekend.
yes. Let's wish them well. Let's wish them well.
Wish them well.
Yeah.
So yes, yes, yes.
Anyone on the book already? No, that Nigel. By the way, anyone
Let me
there?
check. I did not log.
What's
This is not
happening?
good. I didn't log on to the book because I was telling you congratulations to DGS.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let's see. Yes, of course. Snapper is always the lead. So good morning to you, Snapper, Laura.
Boy, Snapper.
Ty Francis.
I'm looking at Snapper if he's his photos on Facebook, and Snapper is so dapper. I mean, Snapper is always well dressed, on that
Always
sartorial splendor. I'm Snapper, so let me big you up for that, Snapper.
Yes, 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 definitely so. And Ty Francis says that song that we were talking about, the song, it's also like the children of Israel leaving Egypt. So it has that kind of feel as well, So yes, tying it into the whole Easter thing. Good morning to my brother Miguel Murphy. Appreciate you as always.
Oh,
Thanks
my
for
goodness, Miguel is
what
doing
you're
so much.
doing and what.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with what Miguel is doing. I mean, seriously.
Yes. And then you and I will talk. We have a big event that's coming up on May 17th.
Okay.
And it's a big Connecting the Dots program. So, we'll talk about that.
On
I was
May
waiting for when
17th.
you came from vacation. I didn't want to give you too much work whilst you were out.
Okay.
So,
all right.
we'll link up on that,
Okay.
Yes. Wilbert Willis, good morning to you. So he wants to say blessed Easter weekend to you and I. So thanks for that. Appreciate it. I haven't seen the part-time producer yet. One of them days either absent or late. One or the other.
We need to have a meeting about this.
We'll talk to him and see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll
on the YouTube channel, good morning to you. I haven't forgotten you, so good morning as well. We appreciate you connecting with us as always every Saturday. We love when you guys do that and share the vibes.
Share the live, man. Share it. Ask them to share it as well. That's important.
Yes. What's the big news happening back home now? Any major stories? I know you're on vacation. So
well,
I'm
serious, and I'm not even sure. Nigel, I mean, I just sometimes you just feel like they're shutting off certain things. So
and you have to.
Even Facebook too. Sometimes you need to do that. Yeah, you need a break from a lot of stuff. Sometimes and just like meditate and just find yourself, find your purpose and
it's very important to just lock up and just close shop for a few.
And I know we'll hear more about that from our guest because she's that type of person who makes time to reflect. And we'll get the vibes in a while. By the way,
we'll get that.
We have to bring her on soon. So let us go ahead with the Dominica Corner and then we bring on the guest. Who's the my turn?
Well, your turn again. Your turn.
My turn now? Oh, okay.
Yes.
What do I ask?
And don't give me no hard.
Okay, what do I ask? Okay, our guest. Let's focus on our guest. So our guest is organizing an event that comes up in May very soon, a big event. What is the name of the event and when is it scheduled for? Man, I said May already, but you can give me the date.
You say May already.
You can give me the date. May what, Nigel? So
May what? You want the exact date? May what? Okay, don't worry. I come in for you just now.
If you win, I'll give you a ticket to that.
I know it's called something about the resurrect or something, but let me hold on. Give me a hard question. Let's see. I think it's called.
I hope I didn't. I sent
Resuscitate. Something like that, right?
Say it again, Nigel.
Is it Resuscitate the Lunch?
Resuscitate the Lunch. Go again.
I think so.
Okay, go again.
In May, let's see what date May. I think it's on the 1st of May.
You're not
wrong, right?
Okay.
I good so far?
Okay. You're going there.
I
Yeah.
doing well?
Yeah.
Okay. 31st of May. Resuscitate the launch. Okay. What
That
else?
I'm not even telling you if you're correct. I think that's a sin to tell you you're correct or something like that. But you're on the right track. You're on the
Okay.
track. But we're going to
On
hear.
the right track.
Okay, the guest is telling me something. I'm going to bring her on even before she comes on officially. So the guest is saying something.
She say I wrong. If I wrong, she not the
Answer,
guest.
answer, Natalie. Answer, Nigel.
Nigel, what date
If
is
I
it?
wrong, she not the guest.
Nigel, what date is it? Good morning.
31st of May, no?
31st of May, that's right. Resuscitate.
Ah, you see? I know I got it right.
Yes,
man.
sir.
I know I got it right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah. We'll bring on
No, I
officially
got
just
it right.
you know.
31st of May. I got
Okay,
it
question
right.
number 2. Where is the guest from? I mean, what country?
Where is the guest from? Well,
Well, you should, I mean, you should know it. Huh?
but she's originally from Trinidad. But she's a Dominican now.
So
I'm correct again, right?
yes.
Good.
You
So
want to tell me
3 out
again
of 3.
anything again you know about her, like what she's involved in, you know?
Well, she's been involved in a lot of other stuff, you know. I mean, if you want to look beautiful and have your hair looking great and beautiful, you can do that. Some wonderful makeup, if you want that as well. But apart from that, she's also involved in motivation stuff. And more importantly, she loves to decorate. So she's involved in, decorating and making sure your place looks beautiful. If you're looking for someone who, you have an event and you want to get it set up nicely, check her out.
Okay.
I correct again?
Yeah. But there's more.
Right.
We'll know.
And I didn't even tell you the other things. I'm waiting for him to talk to her so we can hear the other things. But
Oh,
these
yes.
are some other things.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a
Yes.
lot more, you know.
So if you're looking for someone, to set up your place when you're having your events, and she will do from A to Z. She will, I say Z, we all use, but all you know what time. She will cater everything for you, and we'll find out about that. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Nigel,
4 out of 4.
Okay. You're good. You're good.
4 out of 4.
Yeah, I may ask you a question sometime later. Let me see if we'll get this. But Nigel, there are some people who, how do I say it? They create a lasting impression, their
Yes.
personality, the way they connect with people, their level of confidence, their whole persona, the way they move, they leave a memorable impact on people. And one such person is our guest, Natalie. I came to know her many moons ago, Nigel, through the late
Okay.
Aisha Mark. You remember Aisha Mark, right?
Yes.
Aisha Mark
Yes.
went up for Queen. She was working at DBS at some point as well. So I remember going. So Aisha make an appointment for me to go to Natalie's place. She had a salon back then, in town, and so I remember going to her place, Nigel. Back in the day. And Nigel, like as soon as I took my seat, she started talking. But not the kind of talk that you normally find in a salon. They're not beefy and anything like that. No,
Right,
no
right,
beef.
right.
It was just empowering talk from the get-go, and I was like, what? Although I was prepped by Aisha Mark before, that's the type of person that Natalie is. And that was more than 20 years ago, So, some things just remain etched in your memory. Yes, I can talk with boy.
But you're supposed to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole idea behind it, But I agree with you.
yeah.
There's certain people, when
Yes.
when you see them,
You
and
feel
when
you
hear
feel that
them,
energy, yeah.
and and you have the conversation with them, they have that lasting, effect, and it's a positive lasting effect in the sense that you want to continue being around this person because they kind of, the exuberance that they have, and they allow you to be confident as well and to share and feel like comfortable around that particular person.
That's it.
So, and I think when we talk with her, we'll see why we're saying what we're saying. But definitely, so I can well understand how you felt that day when you went back.
Yeah,
there,
man. Yeah. So and as I said,
Yeah, it would
things
have
like
been
that forever
nice
etched in
vibes
your
then.
memory. Yeah. So and I'm very happy that we have her on today. It's a while we wanted to have her on, but it's nice that we have her on today. So Nigel, we're gonna have some good vibes, right?
Oh yes.
So we're gonna bring her on
As
now?
always, we're gonna connect here and we're gonna learn the journey and in between get some words of wisdom and find out some about Natalie and more so about the event that's coming up on the 31st of May and why the event and what to expect and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lovely time, man, as always.
Yeah.
Winnie, great morning to you. Sorry, they say I didn't say. I thought we see these people. Winnie Green, good morning.
Yeah.
Blessed Easter to you as well.
Is it why we haven't said good morning to Dr. Maxime Vigilant? It's been a while, Nigel.
Yes, always. Yes. We were to link up during when is it? Oh, carnival time. Yes, we saw him carnival time. So, hey, Maxime, good morning, my brother. I know you always linking up. It's always appreciate that. Liz, good morning to you. Pretty good morning. And everybody else, good morning. When you start, you have an issue. So good morning to you. To everybody that's logged on and connecting. We appreciate it as always. Yes, we love the connection, man.
Yeah, that's it. So we're going to
bring asking questions already about the guest. I'm not going to read that.
Okay.
They want to already know, was she a backup for some band? Hold on.
Yeah, hold
Julie
on.
has to come.
Yeah, man. So let's bring her on, Nigel. Let's bring her on. You have a drum, you want to do a drum roll, or you want to say something? You want to sing another song? You just want to bring her on like this?
Me want to sing song.
You want to blow the whistle at the song?
You want me to sing?
No, but let's bring her on. I mean, and let's see her as well. Something is wrong though with my Anyway, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this work. So let's bring her on and bring her on, Nigel, whilst I work on something there.
Yes. We should bring her on, and so we can have the whole conversation with her, and we can find out more about her and everything else. So, I know you'll press your and you'll get her going. So whilst you're doing that, we just want to say welcome to Connecting the Dots. We appreciate you joining us here this morning. And, of course, we're going to chit-chat and have a lovely time connecting with Natalie and finding out about her journey, her story, all the way from Trinidad to Dominica, and why she's made Dominica her home, So, is she there? I'm not seeing the beautiful Natalie yet, but I will see her in a few.
Yeah, I have to.
And I want to press those buttons.
Keep talking, I'm going
to... You pressing something or something that's happening? Okay, keep trying, because I know they want to see the beautiful Natalie and to find out the story and the journey. We can hear her, I think, because earlier I heard her telling me I was correct with my answers. So, hey, good morning to you, Natalie. Welcome to Connecting the Dots. We appreciate it. Thanks for being here this Saturday morning, this Easter weekend, and, all part of the resurrection and the resuscitation and everything else. So good morning to you, my dear. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you. And how are you doing too?
I am doing well. No, I can see the beautiful Natalie. Come on. Yes.
You see beauty? You see that? You see that necklace? You see that chain? Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, man. Not only dressed for the occasion, but representing.
Yeah,
representing.
Always representation. Sometimes just have to strike a pose, and just, that exude that confidence. So, yeah.
Yes, you step in the room and everything's good.
Yeah.
But Alan, it's nice to have you on a Saturday morning here with us, man. Connecting, we appreciate it. And
my pleasure.
I'm sure that you might have listened to other programs along the way, so you can have an idea on how we connect with our guests. And, we love to hear their story before, because I believe everyone has, a story to tell, and that story is going to inspire others. And that's the reason why we do this,
Yes.
So we appreciate it, man. So,
thank you.
Joker, good morning. Yes. We didn't say good morning. He wants to make sure we say good morning, Joker. All right. We're in England, London. So, Natalie, which country was Natalie originally from?
Yeah.
And we will find out how she ended up being here and why this has become her home, away from home.
Yeah, for sure.
Where's Natalie from?
Okay, Natalie is from the Cosmopolitan Society, Trinidad and Tobago. I moved here in 96. My father moved to Dominica to work with Mr. Francis Emmanuel back then. There was they had Variety Foods. And I think a year or two after that, we came up, the family. And all my other family members, with the exception of my sister who is back here now, have migrated, have moved on and so on. But I decided to stay in Dominica because, strange enough, coming from Trinidad where, everything is readily accessible, nightlife, vibrant community in terms of, activities and so forth. I love Dominica. I genuinely love Dominica. What I especially love about Dominica even more so now is the fact that I'm a mom, and the society is one where you can network, raising children. You still have that village environment where you can connect with someone for support as it relates to your children, and just there's always somebody that you can reach out to, and that is one of the things that I appreciate most about Dominica, apart from its vibrant culture.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I like that. Nigel,
I'm always fascinated by by people who are who've decided to make Dominica their home. It's always fascinating to me that you could have chosen other places. Of course, your dad came to work and all the rest of it, but you could have gone back, or you could have gone anywhere else, but you've chosen to make here your home, and more so because of your mom. So early times when you came, what was your impression like when you came to Dom?
Did you do some research even before you came? I mean, you were very young.
Minimal. We were just excited about moving somewhere else. The migration, we were just excited about it. As to Dominica, what I knew of Dominica back then was that the Caribbean's only female prime minister, deceased Dame Eugenia Charles. So, we heard about, her iron fist and her relations with Mr. Ronald Reagan back in the day. These were the things that you learned at school. But when I arrived in Dominica, I just found it was like a little shock, because there was a lot of greenery. And the road network at the time from Melville Hall to Roseau wasn't as it is now. So I remember being a little nervous about and asking, where we really going now? Where we going? When would we start seeing, a town and that sort of thing? But when I came down, we lived at Canefield at that time. When we got to Canefield, what I especially loved was the view of the sea, the Caribbean Sea. The crisp, I remember it very clearly. The airport, there were planes landing at the Canefield airport, and the sea at the back of it was so crisp and blue. My neighbors upstairs at the time, to this day we still maintain a good relationship. They just embraced me. They embraced my family. My next door neighbor at the time, Mr. Perry, his daughter Ernell. A little community started there for us to make us feel welcome and make us feel like, this is your home, this is going to be your home. Anything you need, reach out to us. So that was my first interaction with Dominica, and first impression as it relates to, the road network and so forth. It was a little uneasy, coming down from the airport at that time. But yeah.
Some things have changed, but I mean,
a lot has changed.
This winding road, it's just something else in Nigeria. Sometimes I wonder, the people who build the roads, yes, those were the days of like horses, and the donkeys and all of that. But I don't know if they were not thinking far ahead, But it's beautiful. It's beautiful just to go, travels through this winding road, and see all the greenery. And sometimes, you see the houses and the cottages and all of that. So it's beautiful.
Yes.
So Nigel,
it is. And of course, you're going through all the mountains and everything. And I guess maybe again, like you said, the first impression was, when will I get to where I'm going to go to? But a lot has changed. But the beautiful part is that you can still continue to enjoy,
of course,
all that greenery
through.
Of course. You know what I mean?
Of course.
From Douglas Charles to there. So you guys came. You said your family. So what? There were 2 sisters, 3 brothers, five. How many of you?
5 of us. I'm the eldest. My sister Nikisha is right after me, and then I have the twin brothers Garth and Gavin, who at one point in time worked at Kyrie FM some years ago, and then my last sister Shoshana, a proud student of the Dominica Grammar School.
Yes. Oh my gosh!
You realize she knows how to say it. You don't just say Dominica Grammar School. You say the Dominica
Grammar School.
I will never can switch the guests in the middle of the program.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
But give us an idea though, even before we come. Just go back to Trinidad a little. You know, what was it like growing up in Trinidad as a little girl? You know, if your family, what are some of the things that you remember well that you know you really look forward to like every year? Was it school or just the community? You know, or parties and all of that?
There's so much about my upbringing in Trinidad. I mean, some people, when they look at Trinidad, they think of partying and, you know, the carnival and all of that. That wasn't so for me. I mean, yes, we would have gone to town, you know, Kiddies Carnival Monday and Tuesday to see what was happening. But to say that I was involved in carnival per se, no. To say that I was a fetting type, no. Very simple. I can say I was pretty much brought up sheltered to an extent where, not sheltered, smothered. Not sheltered, you know, not knowing how to manage and how to do things and unaware. No, not that type of sheltered, but protected in a sense that our society is much busier than Dominica. So I was 18 and I still couldn't go where I wanted. You know, like to just say I can go somewhere and a fet somewhere and I can just, no. I wasn't brought up like that. But what I recall most of all about Trinidad right now as I'm reflecting on it is Christmas time and my siblings and I making our own ornaments to hang on the Christmas tree. We had the, you know, the conventional Christmas tree that you would go buy in the store, and I remember we had a cat when after Christmas we had put away that Christmas tree, and we had a cat that found its home in the box and we did not know. By the time we came to take the Christmas tree out, it was completely destroyed. My mother said she's not buying another Christmas tree, so we had to make our own. We would cut the branch of the cherry tree in the backyard and let it dry, and then we would make our own little ornaments to hang on it and so forth. And I remember that was, it was a how to say, it was quality time, it was fun time, because then we were creative, you know, to make our own thing. And really and truly, I know what it is to experience hard time. I know what it is, because Trinidad had gone through a period of recession. And Daddy was laid off. The company was going through receivership and all of that. And there were tough times. But in those tough times, you know, it's from tough situations that you grow. Tough situations that you, as I say, necessity is the mother of invention. And I remember when things had gotten really, really tough one time, and our cooking gas had finished. And my mom was like, you know, boy, what we going to do? And by the time I made a spin, my mother had put the heater, the iron that we iron our clothes with, she had flipped it over on the stove, supported it, and put the pot on top there to cook. That became the hot plate. And you know, when I look back on these things, I know at the time you don't want your friends at school to know that, you know, your experiences as tough as this. But when I look back at it now, all of that formed who I am today, in the sense that I consider myself humble. Some people who don't know me may think, oh, that girl, she's stuck up, or she whatever. No. Get to know me. But it has humbled me in the sense that, you know, appreciating the minor things. Appreciating, you know, the seasons that you go through so that you can have a greater appreciation for a comfortable life. That when you get to the comfortable life, you don't take for granted that you are there, but you can appreciate how you got there, from whence you came, so that what you have now, you place value on it. Not that you idolize it, but you care for it. You don't want to go back to the place where you were, you know, if I may say. Because nowadays everything is like at the click of a button, you get it now. But there was a time when we worked for what we wanted, and we grew from stage to stage. We didn't just happen, you know. So I can appreciate the humble beginnings. I appreciate them very much.
Well, Natalie, I love this.
Yes. You can begin to start feeling the inspiration coming through already.
Yes, I can feel it. So Natalie, we're still in Trinidad. What was the community like? I know earlier on when Nigel and I we started it up, we spoke about like this feeling of utopia, this perfect environment, you know, this community setting and all of that. What was the community like as a little girl when you were growing up?
The community was, I know it has changed. It has changed quite a bit. The community was neighbor looking out for neighbor. your friends, although I didn't partake in that, because I remember my next door neighbor, when my mom would go out and we were at home as children, my neighbor would sit, there was a wall separating us because we lived in those townhouse units. So it's two of them, but there's a wall separating the two apartments. And my next door neighbor, he would sit on the wall and his other friends would come and we would be in the yard, we would talk, we would laugh, we would crack jokes, and sometimes they would try to cook food before our parents came home. And I remember one time, Marlon was his name, and then he had his friend Richard, who was another friend of his lower down. And they started cooking this meal outside. And when he heard the vibration of his father's vehicle coming, he just took up the hot pot and went running with it.
He took up the hot
He picked
pot.
up the hot pot.
What?
And ran with it. Now we had a cloth, but the heat of the pot was so much it started coming through. So he's running and he's bawling. But these things, children don't do these things anymore. We don't go to the rivers anymore. We don't play hopscotch anymore. We don't do those things. And that was my childhood, playing hopscotch, playing morals, playing marble hole, pitch. We will call it pitch. Dominican say marble hole. Pick a mango, you pass by the neighbor, you take their fruit, and then they will start making noise. Oh, come out there, and you have to run, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is growing up, but sadly, technology, yes, advancements, we've become so isolated. With all the technology, we have so many friends on Facebook, but we don't connect.
Yeah.
Nigel,
I tell you, that's going to be a good program. We have so much more to cover. Nigel, where do you want to go to now, Nigel, as you come in?
I want to stick to Trinidad.
Okay, yeah, let's do this.
Before I come to Dominica, I'll go back to Dominica.
Okay.
So in terms of you mentioned the community and the family and everything else. What about the school environment? I mean, was it a situation where like you were involved in sports, or were you just by yourself, or what was it like?
Okay. So at school, from preschool, I was very, how to say, shy.
Don't tell me you were shy.
Yeah, very shy. I used to cry for everything.
Was it?
Everything, I'll cry for everything.
This morning,
You used to call me,
Natalie,
you
you
used to
were
call me
shy,
cry
or
baby.
I
I would cry for everything. And I went to primary school. When I got to primary school, it was the same thing, but a little more. I began opening up a little more at primary school. It's there that I realized that art. My teachers realized that I loved art, especially penmanship and so forth. I used to get the awards at primary school for penmanship. I used to get the awards for drawing and that sort of thing. Moving from there, when common entrance came, I wanted to go to a particular high school, and I didn't get to go there, and I didn't get to go to any of the 4 choices that I had. Instead, they sent me to a school called Mukarapo Junior Secondary, and I didn't want to go to Mukarapo at all. I cried. I went to school for when time for registration. I went there, and I went in plain clothes, not the school uniform, because my mom was trying to get me a transfer to one of the schools closer in my area, and that did not work out. And while that didn't work out, society again, people said, oh, I didn't pass common entrance and what, but they didn't really know what was going on. And the area too, where Mukarapo was, it was right next to the Jamaat al-Muslimin mosque. So, at that time, you had, little uprisings and little disturbances and so forth. So my mother did not want me in that area. But then I didn't get the transfer, but I grew to know that the thing that I didn't get was part of what God had purposed for my life to be who I am today. And, because I went to Mukarapo Junior Sec, and that school exposed me to so much. So much. I did public speaking there. I did dance there. I played table tennis there. Being in the school choir in primary school, I went on to join the school singing groups that were there. They didn't necessarily have a choir, but they had groups that would represent the school in singing competitions and I became a part of that. I became senior prefect. I became class prefect for the 3 years that I was there. So it molded me. The environment molded me. It groomed me. It toughened me up too, because remember I said I was a crybaby in primary school, even in preschool. It toughened me up, and what I appreciated about the environment is that the teachers recognized my potential and groomed that. So it wasn't just about academics, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about our school system at home. Academics run parallel to the vocations. So even if you're not so strong, now there are schools that are just strictly academics, but the general school system, the education system, there is academics, vocations. So if you're not strong in the academics, wherever, you can make up for it in the skill areas. You know, your skill sets you can develop from there and become self-sustainable at a very early age. You know, so that that helped me. And even while I was there, my mother, she was one who never let me waste time when school was closed, apart from Easter, where, you know, I'll go by my granny and that sort of thing. But summer vacation, she would always enroll me in something, wherever, for my hands and so forth. And I remember she enrolling me in YTEP, Youth Training Employment Partnership Program. When I joined that program, I wanted to do hairdressing. That's one of the courses I wanted to do, because I always had an interest in hair. And I didn't get into the class, it was full. So I took the next class that was available, which was tailoring, garment construction and tailoring. And I went ahead, I learned to sew. So some of the outfits that I wear, I create myself. Not what I'm wearing now, but some of them I create myself, and I'm thankful for that. But that, at the end of that course, there was a competition that happened zonally. They select students from the various zones on the island, and they would have them participate in a competition for Mr. and Miss YTEP. At that competition, you have to depict a society or an ethnic group. One of the groups I came to Trinidad that year, I had to represent England. So my attire had to be a ball gown. I had to learn the walls. The male partner had to also learn the walls. But we were judged independently, so we would not judge as a couple. And the prizes were money, and the second prize was, again, a course in hairdressing, and the third prize was learning to drive and money and whatever. And I wanted the second prize. I wanted the second prize because I wanted to do hairdressing by the hook or the crook. As to how you aim to get the second prize and get it, I got it. And that's where my journey in cosmetology and hairdressing started, as it relates to being trained. Prior to that, I would do it at school. My friends will come home, they will do it. And my mother always said, don't give away your talent, make sure and charge them something. So I said, okay. So I would make my little pocket change from that. And from there to there, just many things exposed me. I got into public speaking competitions at that school, the Semukurapo Junior Sec. And I remember, if you can recall, I don't know if you're familiar with Black Sage. He was a Calypsonian in Trinidad. I don't know if he's still alive.
Oh, yes.
Right, Black Sage. He was the librarian, but he was also my coach for public speaking. And he always said that I was selected for public speaking because he appreciated my writing. As to, I didn't realize that him being the librarian, he was privy to my compositions and so forth, my essay writing. And he said he appreciated my writing skill and, you know, the way in which I wrote. But he realizes that he has a feeling that he can develop something else in me. So he started coaching me, and I did well with public speaking. I would win in our zone. And then because of how I presented myself, I got the opportunity to represent my school in the upper level being UE students, A-level students. So I was the only junior secondary student to represent my school at the upper level, because it was unheard of that a junior secondary, 13 years, coming to compete with 21-year-olds at UE and that sort of thing. And in that competition, I placed third. And that opened me up to another something where one of the judges was an editor at the Express newspaper. And she gave me the opportunity to write articles for the newspaper. And I started writing. I was exposed to Carib theater. That was one of the opportunities that afforded me, you know, to go to the Carib theater and, you know, observe dance and that sort of, you know.
What a wholesome upbringing, Nigel.
Yeah, we didn't have money. We did not have money because, like I said, recession was happening. And but my mother was one whatever the opportunities were, she allowed me to venture. And then at school, my teachers saw, my potential, and they themselves took me up and pushed me in that direction. I remembered with my art at third form, I had my math teacher. Her church used to have harvest, like around Easter time and so forth. They had a harvest, and because I was also doing art at school, she asked me to design the paper bags, the large paper bags that they would put the produce in to design the bags. And that was my assignment, and she would pay me. She would bring a whole stack of brown paper bags, and I would have to draw on the outside fruits and vegetables and so forth. And these were the types of exposures that I had as a child growing up that, again, as I said, formed my character, because from very early I was exposed to adults. My circle of friends back then, yes, I had one or two friends my age group, but in terms of my forming, it was mainly among adults, mainly among persons who saw my potential. So I got mentored and groomed from a very, very early age, due to the exposures that I had.
Wow. This is a beautiful journey.
This
is a beautiful journey, and a wonderful story, and the connection, the other side of Natalie that we don't know.
Yes, we don't know.
Which we appreciate you sharing.
Yes.
But
Nigel, even before you move on though, Natalie, have you ever kept abreast of what's happening at the school? Is it the same structure in terms of all getting students involved in the arts? I know in Dominica some things a lot has changed. We had GSP before. But have you kept, get some information about the school, what's happening there? Is it the same?
To be honest, I have not kept in touch. But the format, the structure remains the same.
Okay.
The structure has remained the same. The only difference is, and I see it happening here in Dominica, is that you see more young people on the wayside, and you hear people, persons who don't know better, after say they don't know better, would say, oh, there's nothing for the youth. There's always something for the youth. There's always something to do. It's what you choose for yourself. There is always something to do. So when persons say, oh, you don't have nothing for the youth, are they looking for something to do? When they are presented with something to do, are they even interested? You cannot, as the saying goes, we know, you can bring the donkey to the well, you can't force it to drink. But because, sadly, the notion of we can get it now, because www. says we can get it now, we live our lives, and our young people now want to live their lives the same way, that I can get it now. Don't want to work for it, don't want to put in the hours, don't want to, they say they grind, but grinding what? You understand? Grinding what? What do you have to show for your quote-unquote grind? Yes, there are young people, and I commend the young people who are focused. I commend them for, their involvement and their go-getting and so forth. But we also have to look at balance. We have some that just going, and not looking at the other things that they can involve themselves with to bring balance in their life. And then there are those who sit by the wayside, and that's what they do, not looking for anything else to develop themselves, and that's unfortunate.
Nigel, someone is telling me via WhatsApp to just leave Natalie on, so you realize I put Natalie back on. I'm really pretty,
so
and I also want to take us out
not to show you and I just leave her alone.
And on that note, though, Nigel, let me also commend.
I can't change my outfit.
Let me commend the web administrator let me commend the web administrator for that black background. It just suits Natalie, perfectly. So I think we should use more of that black background going forward.
She understood the assignment.
Yeah.
He understood. The background was going to be there before, and she came dressed appropriately for that background. But Natalie was going to, oftentimes, I guess, when we are young and going stuff we're going through, we might be telling ourselves, why me? And we're disappointed and everything else, not recognizing that the foundation is being laid.
Yeah.
And the formation is happening for what's going to come later on.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure now that you can look back as you're doing now, reflecting on all those things, you're probably recognizing that it was just the formation that was happening, but at that time, of course, you didn't know that. You probably was questioning why me? Why we have to go through all this?
Exactly. And you never understand the place of pain. We never understand it. We feel it, but we don't understand it. And I don't know if you've heard the saying, it's only in hindsight that we have 20/20 vision. While you're going through what you're going through, you cannot see what's ahead. You cannot see the formation. You cannot see what is being molded in you.
True.
You cannot see what is being developed And again, sometimes you can go through a situation and still not grow, still not develop, stay in the self-pity, feel sorry for myself situation, oh, why me kind of thing. But then why not you? Why not me? Because if something has to be built and something has to be developed in yourself to grow you, certain things have to happen. When we feel an earthquake, it's not because something necessarily bad is happening. It's a shifting. So when the shifting occurs, there will be a rumbling, there will be a disruption of your trend, there will be a disturbance in your current status for you to get to the next place. And sadly, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on the mind of the person who is listening, situations that I have gone through, I see it as fortunate now. In the moment it was hard, but now I look at growing up and understanding, okay, what recession was, what hard time was. So whatever I come into today, I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to take anything for, I don't take anything for granted. I don't take anything and I don't take people for granted, because we all have a purpose, we have an assignment, and the only difference is some people discover their purpose and their assignment sooner than others. Some people never do. And the persons who never do, sadly, it's because sometimes, I could be incorrect, they spend so much time being depressed about what not working that they miss what is. You know? I don't know. It's just the mindset I
It happens. Yes. Sometimes we don't appreciate what's there now because we're looking for other things. But as a mom, have you used those experiences that you've been through now to help guide you in what you're doing as a mom?
Oh yes. My children say to me all the time, Mommy, other parents just tell their children and do their children the things that you do us or tell her. And I tell them I don't care about other parents. Once I do it to you all and I tell it to you all for you all to understand. From very early I told my children, birthdays will come, you would not get a gift every time. They know that. Because it's not an entitlement. But the one gift that is constant is consequence. I don't take consequences from my children. I don't raise them that way, to think that they can do what they want and not face consequence. Good consequences, bad consequences. Be truthful to me. Be honest. I encourage them, don't lie to me. Something happens, whether you know it's bad, it's good, be honest with me, because that's the only way I can support you. I will not remove the consequence from you, but I'll be there for you, seeing you go through it. That's the only way you learn. That's how I learned. That's how my mother raised me. My mother was one that said, I will come to your school. I would come to your school for these things only. Report card, PTA meeting, if you're sick, if you forget something at home. If you do anything at the school that requires disciplining, we're not waiting until I get home. It's happening there. And somebody would say, oh, you will embarrass the child. But my mother's philosophy, and I have adopted the same, is while persons may say you embarrassing the child, what about the child embarrassing you, the parent, who they should know by now what you expect of them. They should know the brand that should be attached to them, the brand of discipline, the brand of respect, the brand of obedience. These brands you leave my home with. So when you go there and you do something contrary to that, why should, in that space that embarrass me, why should I not penalize you? I mean, I wouldn't beat you and that sort of thing, but I'll caution you right there. I'm not going to wait until we get home to do it. There are consequences that will follow through from home. You might lose certain privileges and so forth, but I will caution you right then and there. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. So you would know next time to think about it before you even try it.
Before you try it, yes. When you try it, you'll get what you're asking for.
Yes, Nigel, I tell you. I mean, we have to talk about the big activity she has planning, so we'll talk about that just a little later, but 10:30 there.
Yes. And then somebody else
there's a lot we want to cover.
Stella. Tell us about Stella, because they want to tell us, what is Stella and how that came about and all the rest of it. So you got second place competition, hairdressing course, you dealing with arts, you singing in the choir. I guess at that stage you were probably discovering this talented Natalie and at that point, right?
Right. I was this.
When did?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was discovering, but still not discovering. discovering and still not discovering. I was discovering my gifts, so to speak, but who I was, I still didn't know. I still didn't know who I was.
Interesting.
Yeah. It took some time.
Did you take part in any like singing competitions? And I mean like
just the other day I was giving my daughters the joke
like
on auditioning for a competition in Trinidad, which I did not get selected for, and I'm very happy I didn't. But the audition was so embarrassing. Listen to me. That song by Whitney Houston, she sang it for the Olympics in I think in 84.
And all Whitney Houston songs are vocally challenging.
Listen, you talk about vocally challenging. Oh my goodness. So I came to sing the song, and when I got to the high part of it, what we would say in Trinidad, burst, because I couldn't hit the notes. My voice went from what it is, what it could be, to falsetto, a squeak. And I just saw the producer and those responsible for the competition just put down their head. And I realized that's it. Don't even think you're going to get a response from them. But it was, all of these things. It was part of my growing up. And when I look back on it, at the time I was embarrassed. Of course, I was humiliated. But when I look back at it now, I can laugh.
Yeah.
And even transitioning to Dominica, I always loved singing. I always enjoyed singing. Coming from school choir, primary school choir, which Nelson Street Girls RSCB won the choir competition for 5 years straight. We up to the time I left there at common entrance, we were the champions. And coming to Dominica, and sing. I always like singing. I'll sing in the bathroom. I'll sing at work. I'll just sing. That's just something I enjoy doing. Yeah.
The singing was part of it. All right, so we're in Dominica now. We've left Trinidad.
Yeah.
What was your first order of business though when you came to Dominica? After you all settled, of course, you all had a house, home, family setting and all of that.
Well, I was introduced to Caprice. Yeah, because most of the time when I got here, my neighbors were hucksters. So they would take us with them when they go to get their produce around the country, so that we got to know the island a bit better, the countryside, and to meet farmers and that sort of thing. But when it came to the more contemporary society, that occurred for me when I met Caprice. He took me in. Caprice, I always tell people, Caprice took a chance on me. When I say took a chance on me, he gave me an opportunity, because I did my course in Trinidad. But to say the hands-on everyday experience where I'm working in a salon, I didn't yet have that. I would go to the place of my training, and Michael and Gloria, I will go there, do what I have to do, but to say be interactive with the clients and that sort of thing, Caprice gave me that opportunity. And he also gave me advanced training based on his training coming from England. And I would never forget the day he put the keys of the salon in my hand. I was nervous. I remember feeling like, boy, look at responsibility, because the first thing I was 19 turning 20, and all the other staff, they were older than me. And he gave me that responsibility, and I was like, he told me he's going to England, he's leaving the keys with me and so forth, and he gave me instructions and so. And I was like, wow. It was mind-blowing to me that this man with this business is giving me, the keys for the place and so forth. And it worked out so nicely that the relationship that developed between Caprice and I don't know for other people, but I cherish that relationship. Because Caprice opened a door for me in Dominica that I never thought, I would ever have. He never, he didn't limit me. The very first day he allowed me to work on a client, because there was a period of observation and doing shampoos and setting hair and that sort of thing. But the very day he gave me the opportunity to process a client and work with that client from start to finish, he never stood in my way after that. He never, made me feel like I'm doing too much or, no, you shouldn't. He just let me be. He allowed me to spread my wings in his salon. And he allowed me to spread my wings even further, that even after I left the salon, we maintained a very good relationship. So I really appreciate him.
You were able to hone your skills there at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Was it a love for hairdressing that kept you or was it out of necessity?
It was a love for hairdressing in the beginning, and then it became a passion for seeing the transition, seeing the transformation. And when I say transition in the client, that some of them, their self-esteem boosted when their hair was done and they looked at themselves. You would see that genuine joy and cheer. Is like if their shoulders were sluggish, it will just, automatically they would brace themselves, and the grace that would just come upon them. That is the transformation and the transitioning I'm talking about. And it always brought me joy to see a client happy. So right now, that's where I am. It's not about so much the love for hairdressing, but the passion and the joy I get out of seeing the transformation and persons feeling so, feel good about themselves, the confidence, yeah. That's what
Apart from the transformation, looking prettier than when you came in probably, and fixing up the hair, doing some nice hairdos and all of that. What again about hairdressing that really, sort of increase your passion for this? And I'm asking this because when I started, I was telling Nigel, how I met you and the kind of vibe, that you had. So someone would enter your salon and then, it would not be Beth. Like, sometimes normally you go to a place like this and this, but you would empower people. Was that part of it for you, even at the very beginning? Was that something that was just in you? Or was it something that you developed, over a period of time?
It's something I developed over a period of time because I understand the damage that gossip does. I experience the damage for myself that gossip does. So, my mother would say something to me like, if I cannot say something to build you, I'm not going to say something to break you. So these are the things that I grew up hearing. And when I came to Dominica at first, it was a shock. It was a real shocker. Being in a smaller society where everybody knows you, you're like the goldfish in the bowl. Everybody's eyes are on you. The way you dress, your interactions, the way you speak, everybody is like marveling. And again, they're speculating. And out of this speculation came certain accusations, certain things people would say about you that when you hear them, you wonder to yourself, boy, if I didn't know myself, I'll even believe it, because some of the stories were so convincing. But I have grown past that. But in the beginning, it was rough. I remember one point in time, my mother was wondering if to let me go back to Trinidad, because I would come home and depressed. I would be crying. I would be sad. It was rough in the beginning. And I recall one night while I was asleep, Mommy came into the room and she knelt by my bed, because occasionally she would do that, come into her room and pray. And I heard her praying for me and asking God, what should she do with me? If she should let me go back home because she doesn't like to see her child like this. And I think it was from there I picked up myself in the sense that I realized it wasn't only affecting me, it was affecting my mom. And sacrifices that she has made for us, I just felt to myself at that time, she didn't need to have to worry about anything pertaining to me at that time anymore. I'm old enough, I'm working, I can pay my way to an extent, though I was still living at home. But I didn't like the fact at that time, hearing her, she didn't know that I heard her. Hearing her, introspection came for me that I need to, but Natalie, toughen up. You need to pull it together, because this is affecting your mother. She may not say anything, but she's worrying. And just the mere fact that my mother is worrying about me, I started to pull myself together. I picked up the mentality that, do you, Natalie? Do you, be you. You will not be like everybody else. Be you. That is who you have. Be you. Whether people like you, whether people don't like you, do what you have to do. You may not like me, but you have to respect me. You still have to come to me to provide you a service that's A-okay. And I've experienced clients who have come to me over the years and would say things to me like, after they have paid some before they start, they would say things to me like, boy, I never know you were a nice person like that, no? I never know you were like that. Or, boy, people can't say things about people. Now that I get to know you, you're so different and whatever. And I never make them feel any way. No, I don't, because that's your impression of me. If you judge me a certain way and that's what you want to believe of me, I will not work at it to prove you wrong. I will not. Believe what you want. When you get to know me, let the way I treat you speak for itself.
Nigel, let's go to the book a while and let's see what's happening on the book and on the tube. What are people saying, Nigel?
Oh,
You
yes,
have it.
yes. I mean, the book has been busy, and as always, we always love to tell our guests when you get a chance, you can go back and see all the wonderful comments. Um, let's see, Carol Anthony, I always enjoyed her doing my hair at Caprice, and also had her own place. Nara Winston, I hope parents listen to the part where they said discipline is important. Benedina Williams as well says, what did she say? What did she say? Kudos to Caprice. Wow. Jennifer Astafan, good morning to you. Well-rounded, special, and God-fearing individual. I love her. Sandra Norris, I love her. I love her vibes. Claudette Dangleben, we are Stella. Things nuts. So lots of great things going on there. Destiny was our Destined for Greatness packet. My dear Natalie, you look so beautiful. I'm proud of you. We are Stella. At Stella Film, we'll find out about Stella in the next couple of minutes.
In a while, yeah.
Nara Winston, good morning. Proud of you, my sis. You look fabulous. And, lots of nice stuff going on. Moses
on the tube and on the book.
Panthe, watching, good morning, and all the rest of it. Marvin Brady says, my family also came from Trinidad. My grandfather arrived and never left Dominica. Kenna Eugene Angol, Mommy Nats.
Hi, Kenya.
Love you more from D1. You've been there for me and my family. And for being there, thank you so much for that. So, lots of great stuff here, Natalie. When you get the chance, you can always go back and see all
on
the
YouTube
wonderful
as well.
comments
Yes,
and
a
the
lot of
connections,
comments on YouTube, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
That people have been saying. Who else is saying good morning to you? Lots of good mornings,
Yeah.
Nikki Marshall, I guess. So hold on. Natalie, Marshall, Natalie, Joseph, Natalie. All the same.
Yes, yes.
Because Natasha, who is it? Natasha or Nikki Marshall? Nikki Marshall is saying, very proud of you, my sister. Of course, I'm guessing that's your sister, right?
Yes, that's my baby sister.
Is that the younger one?
Yes, the one right after
or the youngest?
Me. Yeah. No, that's the one right after me. Shoshana is the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the twins are right before you?
The twins are in between Nikisha and Shoshana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So and Martha Abel, my precious Nat, such a beautiful and gracious lady. I love her so much. So wonderful things going on. So because we have to get to Stella, and there are we
want to talk about the music as well.
Production that's going on. Let's get I was about to say, let's get to the music part. The hairdressing journey and how you got there. And by the way, you still have your salon, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right. So please go to her salon next week. She's not available today, but to be available from next week. Where is it located?
2 Downing Gap, Goodwill, across the street.
2 Downing Gap, Goodwill.
Yes, from the Christian Primary School.
Is it called something or
G Suite? Genesis, but G Suite.
Yeah. Genesis. All right. Okay.
So Niger will go.
When you go back, you're gonna go by Genesis.
Yeah.
All right. Natalie says she have a complimentary hairdo for you.
So we want to talk about the music, Niger. We also want to talk about, even before you go to Stella, we want to talk a little about what you did during COVID time, and some other stuff. So let's go to music.
Yeah, we have a lot to cover, Natalie, in the next 45 plus minutes. Yeah. So your hairdressing journey, we found out about that, and then the singing competitions, and you auditioning but couldn't hit the notes and everything else, but never gave up on your singing.
No.
When you came to Dominica, how did you get involved in the music scene?
Singing at the salon. I would be at work, and no matter what song was playing on the radio, I would be in my zone. I'm doing my work, and I'm singing. And then I had clients who worked at the Royal Bank at the time, and they were colleagues, of course, with Daddy Chess. And I remember one day one of them said to me, "Boy, Swinging Stars looking for a female vocalist. I must tell them about you, And I'm like, tell them about me, that kind of way, because I didn't really take it seriously. And then one day Chester showed up at the salon, and he told me about needing a female vocalist for the band, and they would like me to come and audition and whatever. And I did that. I auditioned. And I think a couple of days after that, I met Soleil, Angus, one of the keyboardists from the band. I met him in front of Asta fans. Not a couple of days, maybe the following week. And he said, I asked him, so I auditioned. I haven't heard from anybody. Was it good? Was it bad? He said, yeah, man. You on. I said, I said I'm on, but nobody. He said, don't worry. You'll get the news. You'll get the news. They'll call you. They'll call you. I said, okay, and they did. And I remember my first song that I sang. You know, it was at um, oh my gosh,
Cicero?
Sylvania.
Oh, okay.
Going up Sylvania up
Okay.
there. At the club they had up there, which is now a supermarket, a mini mart or something like that. And I remember performing the night, and I was nervous. But with time, you know, I talked myself into it, and you know, allowed myself to be myself, you know, and bring my own personality till Buck, the trombonist of the band, he started calling me Flavor, and that's what they started calling me Flavor. They called me the Flavor of the band.
FLAVA or
Huh?
you how you spelled it at that time?
FLAVA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he used to call me Flavor Boy. You bring flavor to the band and whatever before. But one of the things I told them, I said, listen, this, okay, now that I'm here and I'm settled, we have to do something about the wardrobe. I'm not dressing to suit you or dress around me. So if I am wearing something, I remember when I would go on tour, I would buy my clothes for the band, and I would tell them, okay, this is what I'm wearing tonight. So this color, everybody wearing that. And, you know, we started to have structure and so forth, and, you know, presence. And that was a very exciting time for me. It was very, very exciting. And Swinging Stars then, I don't know, we were... I tell people, Swinging Stars is an institution. Swinging Stars is not just a band, it's an institution. I mean, Swinging Stars is around, what, 60 something years now. And, you know, yes, the members have transitioned, Horsford is still there, but Swinging Stars is an institution. I mean, I went on tour with the band for the first time, and I stayed with family in the US. And I said, no, the next time I go on tour, I'm going to stay with the band. And I kid you not, being the only female in the band at the time, it was just everybody was looking out for me. I didn't feel the discomfort of I'm in a band with guys and, you know, you're uncomfortable because this one want to make a pass at you. That the respect, and that is the thing, you know. I'm happy for the era I was born in. I can say that now because there are certain experiences that I've had. Some were unpleasant in my childhood, but the experiences that I've had along the way, the people that I have connected with, you know, the networks that were formed in my life, that's my most valuable currency. And Swinging Stars is one. It's an institution where I saw Mr. Later, you know, lead the band, but father the band. And when I say father the band, when certain situations arose where I remember when I had gone to the US, I had to have a procedure done. And when the bill came, Mr. Later took care of it. You know, the band took care of it. You know, they would check up on me, see how I'm doing. They will make sure I'm okay. When we go to the supermarket, we took turns to cook in the house. You know, Peter, Glenn and Peter, we were roommates. And we would stay and we would be talking nonsense whole night. But the respect, that is that part. The respect, I could never, I don't know for other bands, but I can speak for the band that I was a part of. We were family. We looked out for each other. We had heated arguments, but respectful. When I say heated arguments, you know, pull up each other on areas where we need to brush up, where we need to do better, where we need to... And, you know, I will say this here now, publicly. A person may not agree with me, but the respect that Swinging Stars should get, that they should experience, it's long overdue. It's a long overdue. Swinging Stars is not an afterthought. They are an institution. And though music transitions, it changes, it evolves, you know, you cannot box music in to say, I own this. But Swinging Stars has brought essence to some songs that, you know, I remember when we took songs like from WCK, Who You Rolling With, and when we get to the studio to practice it, and they wrote brass parts in brass for the trumpet and the trombone and the sax, the brass section to play, the song becomes full. I'm not saying that Booyah is not, I love it. I love it. I mean, I love Booyah, that's Dominica's music. But you cannot own it. You cannot box it in. It's indigenous to Dominica, but you cannot box it in. And the more you give it room to fly, is the more it grows. And I saw Swinging Stars take some of those songs and give life to it. You know, swinging stars in the days at Springfield when you couldn't get parking and you had to walk quite a few yards to get to your vehicle, or the road jam packed because, you know, nothing going up, nothing going on, and inside their truck, you know. But there was a camaraderie among the members. There was a unity among musicians as a whole. Bands, it's not a music, there's no competition in music. There is no competition in music. We try to own it, but it leaves you. It will still find its way to go. You know, so I commend Swinging Stars for being the band that keeps the life of music. We're not talking about synthesizers and keyboards, but music, the art of music in what Dominica produces as Booyah.
Well said, Nigel.
Man, that was a powerful
said.
one a minute ago.
I know Curtis Murphy will take this as a clip for the news. Well said.
Yes, that was really powerful. And well said.
Well, hats off to Norman later and the others.
Yeah. What music should and shouldn't do. I love it.
Swinging Stars is an institution, you know. Swinging Stars has
its
own agency.
Definitely, it is an institution, you know. And I mean, we have to appreciate what we've got, man, because they've been there and they continue to be there and continue to be relevant.
And,
so
Natalie added a lot to Swinging Stars as well, Nigel. I'm sure you would have seen her perform, you know, and she had this this command of the stage. I don't know if it was the Trinidadian thing, but I mean, she could really hold her own on stage, you know, and she had this powerful voice, you know, very, very powerful voice. And wow.
She definitely could hold her own. And I mean, you know, the fact that you were the female lead singer, you know, that was also different because we had been used to, you know, mainly the male, I guess, males as the lead singers. So you coming in as a female lead singer, was there pressure? Or was it more joy?
None at all. As a matter of fact, Chester embraced it because we had a chemistry. We had a chemistry between us when we were on stage. We knew how to complement each other. We knew how to, you know, interact with each other. So he's performing. His performance is his performance, but we would sync with each other in that, you know, whatever he's doing, wherever I have to come in, either it's in dance, if it's to ad-lib, if it's to whatever, there was a synchronization between us on stage that it was just understood, and he liked that excitement. You know, it brought the vibrancy to the band, you know, during that time. And even now when I look at him and Tasha, you know, I am happy. You know, though I miss them, I like the fact that they have continued, and Tasha, they have that thing going where you can see it's a complete performance. It's not she doing her thing and he doing his thing. No, we're doing a thing. It's a complete band. Everybody is playing their part. You know, and you know, we have to get past that thing about my thing and your thing and you know, I don't know, it's like even though we in a space together, we still competing. It's not necessary. We're supposed to complement each other. You know, once we are part of something together, we're supposed to be able to complement it, to strengthen it.
Well said,
Natalie.
Yes.
Well said. Stop, Laura, good to know that.
Yes.
You think I should read that? Anyway. Yes, but Snap Laura say I had a crush on Natalie. And she had just opened a salon up there in Bath. I always had a crush on Natalie since she arrived in Dominica, working at the hair salon in Bath, close to Windsor.
Yes.
LOL. Okay. You write it, so I read it.
So yeah, you read it. Yeah. But
you also she's so authentic and pure.
Yeah, she is. So Natalie, you left Swinging Stars. Well, you see, we're kind of getting to the point we have to talk about this big event. But you left Swinging Stars. But you continue to sing other places.
Yeah, well, I sing mainly at church now. I sing at weddings. Persons invite me to sing at a function. I do that. But I'm in ministry now. My life and that too is why I left Swinging Stars. I didn't leave Swinging Stars because of any situation that transpired between any one of us. It was a decision I took to serve the Lord. And you know, people say you get a call in. I got my call in. I remember in 2004. It was 2004. My daughter was born in 2006. In 2004, I had an encounter where I had to have surgery. And during that time, you know, I always prayed. I was brought up that way. I always prayed. But at that time, you know, your prayer is a bit more fervent because you don't know what to expect. It's the first time I'm going to have surgery, and I started praying and so forth. And bit by bit, I started getting a calling, you know, just to, you know, it's time to, you know, some things you need to move on. And I strongly believe leave while you're ahead. Don't let people get fed up of you in anything. Don't. Make room for somebody else. Don't hold on to something so long that you cannot, you feel that if you leave it, there's nothing else for you to do after that. No, life is about transitioning and moving on. Though I didn't know, I always knew that I wasn't going to stay in Swinging Stars indefinitely, but I was not sure how that move would come. And when I was moving around that time to have that surgery, I started feeling the need to, redirect my focus. And I started focusing more on spiritual things meaning God himself and the Holy Spirit. And when I told my mom, I said, Mommy, yes, I'm going to have this surgery, but because prior to that surgery, I used to have difficulty having children. I had miscarriages, so it came to the point where I had to have surgery. And I told my mom, I said, Mommy, I'm starting to feel the need to leave Swinging Stars. And my mother, being a Christian herself, while I was expecting her to be happy about it, she said to me, okay, you're feeling the need to leave, but one thing I will tell you, don't leave before you ask the Holy Spirit to move the desire for that from you. And I said, you're not happy for me to leave, seeing that you're a Christian, you're happy that I'm making that. But she said, no, it's not about that I'm not happy. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I don't want you to backslide. So ask the Holy Spirit, as long as you're in there, I will pray for you and I will cover you, that when that decision you make it is a fixed decision. And so she said, ask the Holy Spirit to remove the desire from that life, just living life, band, carnival, because I wore the short shorts, the tops with the cleavage and all of that. But remove the desire for these things. So when you do make the decision, you don't have the urge to go back. And then people wouldn't have you as a mockery, or you say you leave, and look at that, I given her time. And that happened to me. It happened to me that when I left for the Lord, persons say, I given you 6 months, I given you, and I given you how many? It's how many years later? It's 18 years later, and I'm still going strong.
18 years already?
18 years. Wow. Because I had my daughter in 2006, and that's when I left the band. As a matter of fact, this year will be 19 years since I've given my life to the Lord. And, a person will say, you give your life to the Lord, and I see you in Calypso show with your husband, like, who you expect to go with him?
So you sing a lot at church, you say?
Nigel laughing.
You're saying you sing a lot.
Who else you expect to be there? That's what I laugh. That's the part I'm laughing.
So Natalie, you always sing at church?
Yes, I'm in worship ministry, so
you sing solo as well?
I sing solo as well, yes. I sing solo as well.
So
I sing
as you sing solo, is there a song that you always like to sing because it kind of
Nigel, you get in there.
Because I would
very
like
good,
to
Nigel.
sing first. So that's what showed me that.
Very good.
So is there a song
very good,
like
Nigel. That's it. That's what I was. Yeah.
How did I know that somebody was going to ask me about a favorite
time.
song I have? I have many of them. Many favorite songs.
If I want to ask you to sing one, at least a verse.
Sing a little bit for one of them first.
Even if you don't have your best voice right now,
Okay.
That's okay. It's not a Whitney Houston, so you wouldn't burst.
Because you know how big that is. 18 years since she left Swinging Stars. I said 18?
Yeah, 18. This year
18 years.
This year is actually going to be 19 years.
And then she's going to sing for us now, Nigel.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. We'll take anything.
You do mighty things. You do glorious things. You're the faithful God. Awesome is your name. You do mighty things. You do glorious things. You're the faithful God. Awesome is your name. Just a little bit.
What?
Yes. I was
waiting for more, right?
to start to close my eyes and feel the vibes. And Natalie just stopped right there. There's a song that she sings, God, I'm trying to remember the song now. It's a favorite. It's one of the favorite songs around. Dang, come on.
Which one?
And I say, if Natalie, come on, she has to sing even if it's one line in that for me.
Which song?
I know you did it recently at some function, man.
The Goodness of God?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
And tell us a verse and a chorus, eh?
I will take whatever she gives.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm greedy.
So now you all have me nervous.
No, don't be nervous, man. We're connecting,
But I
and
really
that's
love
beautiful.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. You know, once
Angel,
you
you see
get
the
yourself
beauty of
together,
this program?
it's a beautiful season to have it.
Yeah.
Okay. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You are close like no other. I know you as my father. I know you as my friend. And I have lived in the goodness of my God. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, 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 so good. With every breath I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of my God. You got two verses.
Thank you.
Wow. But I was really waiting for as well.
Thank you.
Your goodness is running after. But, wow, my child.
Thank you.
Your goodness is running after. It's running after me. It's running after you, Nigel. It's running after you,
yes.
Aikuna. It's running.
Yes.
It's running after you.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Wow. This.
You just never know when. So thank you. You inspired us as you brought
I tell
the
you.
spirit of. Oh man, thank you. Appreciate it. So, and this was wonderful to happen at this time. You know,
Just quickly before we go to Stella, quickly, I think I just want to go back to something she would have done around COVID time. And how did that feel out for you, Natalie? You realized obviously what COVID had done, you know.
Yes.
And you decide to just turn, you know, a negative into positive.
Yeah. COVID was rough. And as many people, we still managing, we still adjusting. I don't think. Listen, Dominica is really a resilient nation, you know, and the people in Dominica are resilient because if we go back from 2013, we had the trough system. I think it was Ophelia. Then we went 2015. Then we went to 2015. We had I can't remember what was the name of that trough system.
Erica.
It was Erica, right? And then we had 2017. We had Maria. Then right after that, 2 years later again, you start hearing about COVID. Bram 2020 shut down, and I think people still in autopilot. I think it's only now persons are coming down from that mode of survival. Do what you have to do. And I experience it as well because being self-employed is not easy in situations like that. It is not easy. COVID came, shut down. I couldn't work. My husband couldn't work. And you're spending money and nothing is coming in. So by the time COVID was over, really to say, well, then things settle back down. You're coming back from almost zero. And during that time, I remember saying to my husband, every time we go to town, we would go to town on a Thursday to do our shopping and so forth for the home. And I'm saying, and it came to a point I'm saying to him, I said, Tony, look at the account, look, this is what the situation is. We have to, do something. And I'm laying on the bed and I'm saying, Lord, you open a way, open a door, something, give us an idea of what to do that can bring income in, because, it's going down quickly and nothing is coming. And then the Holy Spirit just said to me, bake your bread. Because what I would do on a Sunday, I would bake bread for my family. Not every Sunday, but at least twice or once or twice in a month, I'll bake bread. But when I bake loaves, I would always share. I would call my neighbor on the side and tell her, come get. I will call clients randomly and say to them, okay, I baked, can I offer you a loaf of bread? Stop by home and pick up a loaf of bread. And that is what, again, everything that we do, we pay attention to what happens in our life, because I didn't realize that by doing that, God was opening a door for persons to have already sampled what was coming from my kitchen. So that when COVID came and I had to go back to that very thing, people already knew what the bread tasted like. So when it came to the baking, it was easy to make that transition. And I told my husband, I said, you know what, we're going to start baking bread. Our bread is different. It's not white bread we're doing. We do nuts. We put all sorts of healthy ingredients in there. We're going to start doing it. And every client or person I could have remembered giving a loaf of bread to, I sent them a message and I said to them, okay, we understand what's happening with COVID, and I would like we're going to start baking bread. Would you patronize us in that? And that's where it started. I mean, I'm not baking right now as I used to before, but and then I had an incident with my oven. That's a whole other story by itself. But I got it since repaired. But for that season, that was what I had to do in that season, and that is what sustained my family. I remember we had to transfer my daughter from grammar school to convent because of certain things. She was not adjusting well to the online system, online learning system, and the school itself, they were still having some difficulty in certain areas. And I had to make a decision I had to transfer her, and we had to come up with that money to do the transfer. So by the time we got that done, we had to sustainability, how we were going to sustain ourselves. And we baked our bread long days, from getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, finishing bake at after 10, sometimes in the night. We just taking out the last batch in the oven, because it's one stove and how many loaves to do, so it's a whole day thing. And that sustained us. So even in that time, the Holy Spirit proved to me that people say, oh, jack of all trades, master of none. That is a lie. Jack of all trades, master your trades for the season that is coming. Because what you do, the trade that you have, I'm a cosmetologist. I've gone back to that full time now, right? And we also cook. So I work in the salon Monday to Wednesday, and even from baking the bread, we transition into cooking on a Friday, Saturday, which I'm going to start back doing as well, because people ask about it. But I'm a jack of all trades, and I master whatever I am given to do for the season that I need to do it in. So it's not, you can't master everything at the same time, unless if you have teams and people there helping you. But when you have to do what you have to do within that season, if it's bread you're baking, bake it well. If it's food you're cooking, cook it well. Whatever you do, cook it well, because that's a representation of you.
Gel. I love this. There's a lesson in this. But let's go. We go into the next, what's coming up, right? Because we want to spend some time on that, because I want to find out where the idea was born.
Yes. And I love the journey and the connection. We've taken Natalie from Trinidad and brought her all the way through Melvin Hall, and then to Roseau, Kinfield, and Oxterine, and all the rest of it, and Swinging Stars, and Caprice, and everything else. So the journey has been wonderful, man. Appreciate you sharing with us. So, people have been talking about the Stella thing. Stella. What is Stella, man? What's up with that Stella business?
So when you hear Stella, what do you think of?
What do I think of? I think of excellence. I think of enjoyment. I think of inspiration. I think of the sky's the limit kind of a thing. All those things come together.
Okay. So Stella actually came out of listening some more, and feeling and experiencing and connecting with people and sharing in their experiences. Again, piggybacking on COVID a little bit, COVID forced us to live together. COVID forced us to have to be at home. COVID forced us to interact with the people we take for granted, or our love, or quote unquote loved ones. COVID forced us into a place that we kept running from because we are either too busy, or we use busy as an excuse not to connect in the areas or with the people that we are supposed to. And COVID was over, and you hear things like marriages falling apart. You're hearing families in crisis mode because I have to live with this woman, I have to live with this man, or is now I realizing that my children need to be disciplined. Now I realizing that I don't, like as if I don't like my husband, or as if I don't like my wife, or you're starting to realize some things that were always there, but because you didn't make the time for it, it is in your face now and you cannot manage it. Now, some persons may disagree with me, that's fine, because when we look at the trend of today, relationships are in crisis mode. And even before they develop to become relationships, what we see on social media will make you feel that you should not get involved with anyone. You should stay by yourself. You should remain isolated. Just do your thing and keep moving. If when I feel cold, I somebody come over, I get my fix, and they go about their business. But is that how we're supposed to live, though? Is that how we're supposed to live? I mean, I'm a believer. I believe in God, and I believe in His Word. And His principles don't change. His Word doesn't change. Culture changes, but His Word does not change. And because the culture has changed so much, we have become so intolerant. We have become so intolerant of the very people that we say we love. We become intolerant of our partners, even at work. It just seems so difficult for persons to cooperate. We're supposed to be working together in a firm, in a company, towards the growth of that company. What I put in, I get out. Persons don't see themselves as a shareholder in whatever they're in. And as a result, relationships are falling apart, be it at work, be it at play, be it in marriage, and mainly marriage. And to be honest, it breaks my heart, because when Stella came about, it was me listening to, interactions with persons, ladies, even men, and they share some of their heartbreaking experiences. And when from the outside looking in, you could never see yourself when you're in a situation. But from the outside looking in, I say to myself, but why are they breaking up over this? And I say to myself, Lord, but my husband and I have gone through this, we have gone through that. But you're Natalie, you stupid man. Why are you still there? But I came to realize, and I came to know that marriage is not just a commitment, it's also a covenant. And I've realized that persons, the impressions that they have about marriage and the idea that they have about marriage is based on what they see rather than what they understand marriage to be. So Stella came about with me asking the Lord, what can I do to, just share some insight, share my experience. I'm not an expert, don't get me wrong. I'm not a guru. I am not know everything. No, I don't know everything. But what I do know and what I have experienced, I can share and I can encourage. I can say to you, hey, I've been there, but these are the mechanisms that we engage, or this is the strategy that we use, or that's the decision my husband and I made for us to be in a better place. We're not perfect, because when I wanted to start this whole Stella journey, I said to a friend of mine, I said, boy, I'm going to start this thing about marriage, and a person might look at me and say, Natalie, what you know about marriage? But this is what I know about her husband, or this is what I know about her, whatever. What makes her an expert? But there's no expert in marriage, though. There's no expert. You learn along the way. It's a journey that you learn along the way. And it's something that we should prepare ourselves for. So Stella, the acronym, it became an acronym some time ago, striving towards excellence in loyalty and love. It became an acronym. And the purpose behind it is for us to go back to the drawing board as individuals, not even so much as husband and wife, not so much as boyfriend and girlfriend, but as you, the individual. Because one of the things I also notice is that your history, your experiences can determine how you relate to your partner. So, for instance, let's say you come from an aggressive environment where you're accustomed to being shouted at and roughed up and that sort of thing. That's the same thing you're going to bring to your home, because that's what you know, unless if you make a conscious decision to do better. So I started on Facebook and social media, sharing about my experiences as an individual, sharing my experiences as a wife, as a mother, sharing some of the experiences that I have encountered in my relationship and how I manage them. And one of the things that persons don't do is prepare. We don't prepare. We see marriage as just blissful. Okay, you see it on TV, you get married, you're on the beach, you're in a beach house, you lying on the bed, white sheets, white linens, the net, and here comes your husband with a breakfast tray and a rose in his mouth. That is not marriage. The reality of marriage is it can change in an instant. Someone can get sick, you can get ill, your partner can get ill. How do you cope? You can be employed, gainfully employed, have a big wedding, everything going nicely, and then recession hits or something happens. One of you are unemployed. How do you manage that? Are you going to allow those situations to cause you to turn your back and go because this has happened and you didn't bargain for that? Marriage is not just a commitment, it's also a covenant. We didn't marry and say, I do, just because I wanted a dress or because I wanted that particular man because he will complete me. Nobody can complete you. No one can complete you. It starts with you. And when I started sharing on that, and even with the activity that I have coming up, person said, "Oh, Natalie, you put out the flyer. Why did you put the flyer out with you alone and not with your husband?" I said, because marriage starts with me. I have to be one with myself, understand who I am, understand what my shortcomings are, be prepared to work at it, because I cannot expect my husband to fix me. Vice versa, my husband cannot expect that I will be the one to fix him and to complete him. We're supposed to work towards becoming whole individuals so that when we come together, we are genuinely one and we are not couples. We are not a couple. Because based on what I understand from the Word of God, is that the two shall become one. But we are busy looking for the one. And when we get the one, and the one comes to us with all their default, we don't want them again. We start looking in another direction, or we find in fault instead of checking, okay, it's a working process, and we have to work on each other. Work on each other meaning I work on me, you work on you, and we work together to become one so that we can have a wholesome relationship, a stable home with children that we raise in a particular way towards wholeness. That in itself will affect society.
Well said. Now I understand the I'm going to use your store, the genesis of Stella,
Right.
and what it is all about, and the purpose behind it, and the goals that you're trying to achieve there as well, you know.
Right.
And you have this event that's coming up, which is part of that whole process, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Just before we get to the event, though, from stuff that you've just spoken about and so on, what would you advise to young couples? And like we say, you're not an expert on this. It's just through experiences, someone who's been through it and everything else. You know, young couples who, like you say, probably seeing the social media and the glitz and glamour and not recognizing what's behind of it all.
Yeah.
Is that part of what you'll be sharing at the event?
Yes, it is.
Or,
It
you
is.
know,
It
just
is.
tell us some of the things that's going to be coming through for that event.
Okay. So in as much as the activity is called Resuscitate, and just what it is, resuscitate, breathe life. Resuscitate means to bring something back to life. And even if you don't have issues in your marriage, but you want that, just something, a different environment, raise the bar, raise the standard. Your partner's supposed to be the next most important person to you after God, and nowadays we don't date like we used to. Sometimes I reflect on with COVID and everything that has happened. It's like you lose touch with certain things. You we make time to go out. We spend quality time together. We become intentional over everything. When you become married, everything that you do has to become intentional, you know. I didn't know this in the beginning. I like I said, it's not something that I have I knew or I was told. No, and I don't believe in telling anybody what to do in their relationship. No one should, because everybody is different. Their situations and circumstances are different. But Resuscitate is for us to breathe new life into our relationship, and also to encourage persons to connect. Single persons, I'm encouraging single persons to come, because you don't really know. You may have an idea of what marriage could be, but be in the room and hear what can happen, hear what is expected as an individual in a marriage, and realize that as a single individual, I need to do some work on myself. There are things that I need to come face to face with myself before I can even decide to become married. Because when I do get married, if I don't know the things that I will find out at Resuscitate, or find out from somebody who's married and will sit with me and have a serious conversation about married life and what it could be, I would be better prepared. Listen, Nigel, what your profession is, Ivona, what your profession is, you both studied for that. You prepared for that. And this is where you are. You went into it with the knowledge of what it is. People jump into marriage. We date for a while. We date for a while. But at the end of the day, each of us go to our separate homes. We don't live together to see what our habits are. We don't spend that time enough where the person is in your space, and the little things that could be a little thing to me might be a major thing to you, that you will decide, boy, I never know Mr. was like that. I never know Mamzelle used to do that. Boy, my mother used to do that way. How come Mamzelle not doing that so for me? Or how is so I accustomed? But we come into a relationship, one culture. I come with my culture. He comes with his culture. And we want to bring those two cultures together. But the fact is, you have to now develop a new culture for your own home. You can take the good things, yes, but you have to get to that place of compromise. And there's that talk about 50-50. Marriage is not 50-50. Marriage could never be 50-50. What happens when, okay, for instance, you're two healthy people and then one partner becomes unwell? That's not 50-50. It could be 10% because the person is unwell, and you have to push in the 90%, care for them, care for home, care for children, be a provider. That becomes a 90%. So because it's no longer 50-50 as you term it to be, it's time for you to turn your back and go. No. The original vows were for better, for worse. And that's why I'm speaking to mainly to young people, single people, because again, it's what you hear on social media and what, you know, the mantra of today. If it not, go through it and whatever. But you look at the other person that way. What about the person who look at you and say, you have all your faults, I can throw you too, you know? But it's the understanding that before we become one, we ourselves have to become one with ourselves. Become one with ourselves. Become one with God. There are things I had to face to myself. There are things I had to come to terms with my own self before. For me, I discovered while married certain things that had I known before, I would have dealt with these issues before, so that it would not have become conflicts or stumbling blocks or hurdles that we have to now take a while to chisel away at this thing, so that I can, you know, be a better woman, be a better wife, be a better mother, right? And there are persons who are married and their relationship cold. They just go through the routine. They take care of the children, they run the home, they do this. And when the children migrate, you find that these relationships break up because they never developed a friendship between each other. That now the children are not there, and the focus is no longer on caring for these children and providing for them. Now that they are gone, you realize, but I don't even like this man, or I don't even like this woman. But as if, you know, certain things just become more apparent to you now because it's just the two of you. But again, the vows were in sickness or in health. Can we determine what sickness will come? Can we determine, if providing that we want to be healthy all the way, but if illness comes, what do we do then? For better, for worse, do we get to choose what degree of worse, what worse is? Worse can come in any form. Richer for poorer. Richer for poorer doesn't always necessarily mean dollars and cents. It can also mean poor communication, less time or no time spending together, loss of quality time, mood swings, all of these things. It's a whole, it's a lot. And for that, I am not as I said, I'm not an expert. I engage experts to support and to, to bring to the fore the things that we should consider, the things that we should, the areas that we should look at towards making ourselves better individuals, to connecting. Everything now is pulling us apart. Everything is pulling us apart. Even within our homes, we have our children. Relationship is not just husband and wife, it's also children. You have children, everybody's on a device. We stay in the bedroom and we send a WhatsApp to somebody in the kitchen. We don't talk anymore. We don't meet at the dinner table and have a conversation while we're having meals. And all of these things break down the home. And then we are out in a society and we expect that out there is going to be better. It starts in the home. So Resuscitate is not just, okay, yes, we want marriages to be reinforced. I would love to see them together. But it's about the individual fixing you up, working on you so that you bring a better wife to the table. You bring a better husband to the table. You bring a better mother, a better son, a better, and just knowing your place. What is my place in life? What is my... Because I'm supposed to be striving towards excellence. Be ye perfect as our Father himself is perfect in heaven, right? That's his word.
I like this.
Yes.
This is something that you thought of for like years, many years? Or something that just came...
It came and
or you're listening to the stories of people and then you realize there's more you need to do.
As a cosmetologist, people share. Listen, people share. And one thing I do not take for granted, I don't take my clients for granted. I don't take my clients for granted. I don't take anyone who shares anything with me for granted, because it's a trust. And I had trust issues. So I know what it is when you need somebody to talk to and you don't know where to connect, to have that conversation that, when you tell somebody something, it's there, they give you the advice you need, but they are also there to check up on you. So I try to be that person because I know when I needed that. Now, with all of that thought, I started thinking, but Dominica is such a beautiful place. Dominica has everything it takes to promote wellness. And yes, the nature isle of the Caribbean, but I see that's just my view of Dominica. And again, it's from being an outsider, being here. I see Dominica as the wellness destination of the world. Why? The environment is conducive to that. It's very conducive. So Resuscitate is actually the launch of a weekend rendezvous, which I am planning with my team for May 22nd to the 25th of 2026, where I am hoping that it becomes a tourism product, that persons will leave wherever and come to Dominica for that. You come for the weekend, you do the sites. So I've spoken to the hikers, like for instance, Brohim. I've had a conversation with Brohim. I've had conversations with hotels. What does the hotel offer that I can bring persons here and we can have a session in therapy? So the therapists that I have engaged to work with me for Resuscitate, which is the launch on the 31st of May, they are going to be a part of the weekend rendezvous next year, where you visit Dominica, yes, as I'm saying, you do hikes, you do tours, you do the water sports, you do the river tubing, you do all of these things, but there is a moment for counseling and therapy. And we have Lester Guy. And why I asked Lester, because we don't prepare for the change, especially when it comes to illness. We don't prepare for that. We don't prepare for our mental state. How do we cope? You never see someone is not well in a family, and then when they begin to get better, the person caring for them now fall ill, or they even die in some instances, and you wonder what happened. It's mind, body, and soul therapy. So Lester is going to be there to speak about that. Let's just say that happened. How are you going to cope? So we have Lester and we have the Ray Astor Foundation who is supporting him along with me in that area. We have Glenora Packett who will speak to us about managing emotions and, emotional intelligence in a relationship. You cannot have a relationship in your workplace, at school, and worse yet in your marriage where you don't know how to manage your emotions. You flare up anger. You say things. When a word leaves your mouth, you cannot take it back. They used to say, sticks and stones break my bones and words can do no harm. But words leave lasting wounds that when you have heard it in your childhood or you have heard it at some stage of your life, when you come into a relationship now with others and somebody just gives you a hint that they may remind you of where you came from, your defense comes up. You become so defensive that you become aggressive and these are the things we need to talk about. These are the things we need to face. These are the things that we need to confront. and work on in ourselves. So where somebody would say, okay, Natalie, you put out a flyer and it's just you alone on the flyer. Yes, the work starts with me. So the work starts with my husband. And as he works on him, I work on me. When we come together better to be a whole marriage. So the rendezvous is planned to also put Dominica on the map as another tourism, another niche for tourism. Come to Dominica for wellness. Come and see the sights. Soak in the hot water, relax and unwind. The world is very busy right now. But when you come for that period, you're coming for therapy as a couple to work on the relationship. But Resuscitate is open to everyone.
At what time do you begin? What is the agenda like? What should people expect?
At 6 p.m. It starts at 6 and it ends at 11. It's dinner and dance, and I intentionally put dance in there because, and it's Mr. Steinberg Henry. I had a conversation with him, and I was sharing the activity with him, and he reminded me of a song. If you let me make love to you, then why can't I touch you? And I said to him, he asked me, when I hear that song, what do I think? I said, well, Mr. Henry, yes, people make love, they have the intercourse, but they don't touch in the sense of they don't touch the person's heart. They don't touch the core of their being. It becomes just a physical thing, but not an emotional thing where it's supposed to be a oneness experience. I can feel you out. It's like, Nigel, you may think of something at home you want to eat, and here it is, your wife comes home and she brings that very thing. That touch, you all connect in the spirit, that she knows you. So I think Nigel will do well with a chocolate tonight, let me bring that for him. And then when she gets home,
I got feel for some actor there, so I hope she's hearing that. Soulfish actor. Sorry.
So when she comes with it, you'll be like, but babes, how you knew I wanted that? Do we still connect? It's possible to connect on that level. It's possible to connect on that level. And, so we have asked persons that when you register for Resuscitate, even if you're single, put the song that resonates with you. As a married couple, it could be your first dance. Right? Give us the name of the song. So when we present it we'll give it to the DJ. He'll have his playlist, but we'll include those songs so that when you hold your partner that night, that evening, for you to, to dance, memories come back, bring you back to a place where we can reconnect again. We came to Resuscitate. Yes, it's the thing to do, but we do it intentionally. That when you leave Intercontinental and you're heading back home, you can remember, you can begin reminiscing, you can have conversation, you can have that conversation with yourself as a single person. You know what, I need to work on this area, I would love to get married at some point, but clearly if I have this thing fighting with, I need to fix up myself, I need to be better so that I can, okay, now I understand why I behave a certain way in my workplace, or I understand why Jane or John behaves that way because they maybe need, And it's also to encourage therapy. My goodness, people tend to think because you go into a therapist, you're crazy. No. You need that place to offload. Sometimes you cannot share that information with your immediates. So you have that space where you can offload. And along with Mrs. Paquette and Lester, we have from Trinidad, Mr. Dexter de Bellot and his wife, Camille Fraser de Bellot. Camille is a life coach and motivational speaker. Dexter is a trauma specialist, counselor, all the areas of the mental state. He works with that. He's fully equipped. But I engage them because from our conversations when I connected with them, they shared with me persons need to understand the importance of unboxing or emptying themselves. We bring too much baggage into a relationship. I'm just, summarizing. Too much baggage comes into a relationship. And where it can work, it does not work because persons are not honest with themselves. They don't, and to just give us some techniques on how to manage in situations in our relationships, even with ourselves. When we come into spaces where something about our past is so familiar that it causes us to seize, that we cannot move beyond this place, cannot make decisions. It's a whole lot. But Resuscitate the night, with their presence is to make us more aware. Is to make us more aware of ourselves and areas where we need to, work on ourselves, because it's a constant work. We don't ever stop. Once we are alive, we keep becoming better, and we should always want to become better, especially when we have persons in our lives.
How does one register for this? Where do they get the information?
Okay, well, for now, on Facebook, I have put the link on Facebook where you can register. Tickets are available at Bullseye Pharmacy. And you can get in contact with me, 613-3004. As a matter of fact, our advert is going to be running as of when I'm done. I'm going to speak to Ivona about running it here. Having it here is going to be on Kyrie. It's going to be, as of this week, everything is going to be out in terms of the advertisement and so forth. And my number, again, 613-3005. You can reach me even on Facebook, Natalie Andrea Joseph. On my page, you can send me, I would respond. You get into the link is on Facebook for sure. So you register, all the information is there, and we take it. We can take it from there.
Are people expressing interest already?
They are, they are. Okay. And unfortunately, men are showing interest. I mean, guys stop me Rose and they tell me they see this thing on statuses and so forth. What is it about? And I'm happy to share the information. And I'm even more happy that men are interested, because men don't talk. When you get a man who will express himself and open up and say how he feels about something, treasure that, because you find women are the talkers. Sometimes we talk too much, but at the same time we want to have that balance. Let me hear from you, because you want to be a better man, be a better father, be a better husband, be a better friend, be a better son, So I'm happy for their interest in particular.
Yeah. Nigel, as we wind down though, I just want to go to one of the comments from Henry Pascal. He says, I listen to the program almost every Saturday from Georgia. Nat is so inspiring and is a source of tremendous consolation. May God's continued blessings be upon you.
Thank you.
There are so many other,
Thank
Nigel, really positive, messages.
Oh, yes, yes. A lot of positive messages from the Facebook and people who are asking questions. So that's why we asked about the register thing. Yeah. Somebody wanted to know as a single, can I come, and so on.
Absolutely.
So there's lots of,
absolutely.
questions and comments being made, So, yes. Hey, listen, man, Natalie, it was a pleasure connecting with you. Much appreciated.
Absolutely a pleasure, man.
Continue listening. By the way, what's your views on this program, Connecting the Dots?
I love it. To be honest, it's like friends having a conversation. And there are a lot of people. To be honest, I'm humbled by the experience to be here, because when I reached out to Ivona, I didn't realize that she was also trying to get in contact with me. And there are so many people, I'm not speaking about myself, but there are quite a few people in Dominica who behind the scenes burn the midnight oil and put in the work. And, sometimes they feel unappreciated. They feel like no one is seeing them. So connecting the dots is a perfect avenue for these persons to be seen and heard. It doesn't take much to motivate people. Just a little appreciation. You show them appreciation, they will move a mountain for you. And again, I'm coming back to Resuscitate. You show your partner appreciation, they will move the mountains for you. We don't take people for granted, and this program highlights that, not taking people for granted, appreciating their contribution to Dominica. So thank you for having me. I sincerely appreciate it.
What a wonderful
we sincerely appreciate you for being here and connecting with us and letting us know about the event and about the journey and everything else.
And what a journey.
I know it program. Was that Ivona? You
what's a journey?
To sing a song for you? That's what you
we can end with that, Nigel. One thing we feed in, we the vibes, we have an energy. So that's good.
But we connect well.
Yeah, we connect well.
What's happening.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so yes,
all,
man, listen, thank you so much for sharing the journey and for connecting. And as you leave us with a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed the program. You ready? When you're ready, you just...
Okay. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. I just want to say thank you to all of you listening. And let's be a friend. Let's be a genuine friend to someone. Don't get to know them to know their business, but get to know them in love. Let's network sincerely, and let's be truly stellar people. Let's strive towards excellence in loyalty and love in everything we do and in every relationship that we have. Can I take the opportunity to thank those who have supported me on this?
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Okay. So I would like to thank Digicel for seeing the vision and, running with me with it. I thank you for Big Edge. Nigel, your sister is a darling, a sweetheart. I thank you. Yes, she's taken care of a particular element of this thing for me, and I'm very grateful. Intercontinental, I'm thankful for, and Rosalie Resort and Eco Spa. Even though Weekend Rendezvous is going to be stationed at Intercontinental next year, even this year they have offered me beautiful rates for persons coming to Dominica, wanting to be in Dominica for Resuscitate on the weekend. So I am grateful and I'm thankful for their involvement and their support. And of course, Roof Tropics, Media St. Lucia. Nigel, do you know Russell Lake? From
Sure.
St. Lucia? Yes, Russell is a partner with me. He's offered me an interview as well, and to rotate the ad on his radio station. So I am very, very, very grateful for the support and from everyone. Thank you.
And
for
thank you to
cheerleader,
DBS
Franklin.
and Connecting the Dots for sharing having this as well.
Yes,
Wow.
thank you very much for having me.
Nigel,
Thank you.
see, it's more
Thank
than
you.
it's one thing to be beautiful, but when you have a sense of who you are and that confidence, it brings it out even more.
Thank
And I'm very happy
Yes.
that, and I have a feeling we're going to have Natalie again on the program, on another program.
I'm pretty sure we will. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
man.
sure we will.
Yeah,
And-
man.
Thank
What
and
a
I know
story.
that youngster. Well, I say youngster, but Mr. Curtis Matthew.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure youngster will be
Yeah.
at the event as well as Ivone will be at the event.
Mhm.
They have received complimentary tickets as a result of that, so they'll be there.
And I can see
At
this
the event.
growing as well. I can see this event growing, in the years to come. What a wonderful setting, and just to be empowered. And to fellowship sort of and all of that.
It's fellowship, and
Yeah.
one of the other thing too is also to raise standards.
Mhm.
I mean, let persons look forward to going out. We're going out, yes, but in a classy environment. Let's do it. Let's raise the bar a bit. I remember when I spoke to Jennifer Astefan at Ray Aster Foundation, and she shared some things with me about the potential of the support that this, activity can draw. And she brought certain things to the table for me. I said, you know what, Jen? I am grateful. I am so happy for people like you and your foundation, Ray Aster Foundation, yes, that you see the need for persons to be educated, about their health and how it can affect their relationships moving forward. So, again, thank you so very much, Nigel. God bless you. Ivona, God bless you as well. And
God bless you, my dear, as
God
well.
bless
Continued
Connecting the Dots.
blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. All the best.
Okay.
You, Nigel, we'll lose again next week. God willing, we'll have another guest.
Yes,
and
we'll link up again next
we
week,
wish
definitely.
Natalie success in all her endeavors,
Thank
as she
you.
moves forward.
Thank you.
What a wonderful story, Nigel. What
It
a
is,
wonderful
it
story.
it is.
Take care, Nigel.
Yes, my dear, we connect again. All right, cool.
All right. Okay, then.
Because my presence is a gift from God and you're looking like an angel, baby. Dancing, ooh yeah, booty like a circle, and I go handle them carefully.